So tonight I'm going to go ahead and start addressing a problem I'm having with my limiting chains. Now for those of you who don't know what limiting chains are or what they do, I'll give you a quick little 30-second lesson. These are limiting chains. A lot of people have limiting straps. They have the same concept, but it's a strap rather than a chain. The purpose of it is to do exactly what it sounds like. Limit the amount of travel this shock has. With the weight of this axle, this is a 2,000 pound axle, and the weight of these wheels and tires, you got 600 pounds in either corner. That's 3,200 pounds of weight in the rear of the truck. So if this suspension was to come totally open, that's 3,200 pounds worth of pressure that these shocks are going to get. They're not designed to be able to handle that. So when we put these chains in and cut the mounts and everything, we set it at a specific length so that when this chain pulls completely tight and the suspension opens as much as it possibly can, this shock is still compressed 2 inches. So you're never putting any negative pressure on the shock. The problem I'm running into is where we ended up mounting these limiting chains and the length they had to be in order for everything to function properly. These chains, just when I'm sitting without the suspension even compressed at all, just from ride height, the chains are basically about rubbing on my forelinks. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of clearance there. Even with the truck just sitting at regular ride height, limiting chains are still resting right on the forelinks basically. Got maybe a 1/16 of an inch worth of clearance. We went ahead and put these little plastic covers on here to try to protect the forelink a little bit, but we need a little more permanent solution. So that's why we're going forward. And these forelinks have Mikey's Customs powder coatings on. You don't want to be messing up Mikey's Custom coatings. It's nice and pissed off like at you, and it's not a good situation to be in. So, what we're going to do, I'm going to pull these chains off. I'm going to go get them sandblasted, because that first round of paint still didn't stick all that well on them anyway. I'm going to get them sandblasted. I'm going to take them over to Brian's shop, and Steve, good welding buddy of ours, takes care of a lot of the welding on my parts here and there. He's going to go ahead and weld these first 2 links together. Then I'm going to get it repainted, and then when I install it, I'm going to go ahead and tighten this bottom bolt pretty good so that it keeps the chain in an upward position like that. So as you can see here, now I've got about 4 to 5 inches worth of gap there, so should be able to solve the problem. But you don't want to piss off Mikey and Mikey's Custom Coatings. I mean, he's a nice guy, but not when you go tearing his coatings all up. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling these chains off and get them over to the sandblaster. So I either got a gnarly set of suspenders or I just got my limiting chains back from the sandblaster. Either way, it's super bitchin'. They got a little bit of surface rust on them because they got a little wet. It rained earlier, but I think it'll be all right. So now it's a matter of taking these over to Mr. Steve, having him TIG weld just these 2 links together so that it'll keep the chains up off the 4-link bars. Hell yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. We just got the chains back from paint, looking pretty sweet. Now it's time to bolt them back on. All right, so I just got the limiting chains reinstalled and everything seems to be working out perfectly. You can see we got fresh paint on them, looking pretty solid. Got them bolted up. Steve did an awesome job TIG welding them all up, and now I tightened this bolt up so that this is in here nice and snug, which adds to the gap that you have here between the limiting chain and the 4-link bar. So now, you can see we got a pretty solid gap between the 2 of them. Super bitchin'. If y'all enjoyed the video, please hit the like button at the bottom of your screen, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.